We got a lot of good stuff in 2025, no denying that. But on a lot of fronts, it was a rough year. This was a year where a bunch of things that we were told were the future either took the money and ran or got old yeller. So today we're going to talk about some things that aren't on hiatus. In fact, they've already been mourned. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 video game things that died in 2025. Starting off at number 10, crypto gaming kicked the bucket in 2025. Web3 gaming is a no-go at this point. It's done. NFTs, blockchains, crypto in video games, finito. Just a few years ago, crypto gaming was all the rage with investors. You couldn't get a game made without at least pretending you were going to use blockchain technology or sell NFTs, but that dream of the financification of everything was not meant to be. Mostly because people don't care. It's not just that they don't like it. They don't, but they don't dislike it either because they don't think about it. It's too complicated. You have to jump through too many hoops to figure it out. And if you haven't jumped through those hoops, you can't like or dislike something. You can only say, well, meh. And that's what everybody did. I know a lot of people hated it, to be fair, and rightfully so, but to be frank, there are some really highly successful projects that people hate. Don't believe me? Ask Call of Duty next time you see it. But seriously, with crypto gaming shit, the actual value proposition just wasn't there for anyone who wasn't already deep in the technology, and it wasn't there for a lot of those people as well. It's been pretty obvious this entire thing has been on the downswing for a while now. Most major publishers who originally talked a big game about crypto gaming or NFT integration quietly moved on to other things, but it wasn't entirely a done deal. Like, crypto itself still makes people rich, so that means it will make everybody rich, right? There's still a few noteworthy crypto games out there. Nobody cares. They're not part of the zeitgeist in any meaningful way, but they are still technically around. And as you know, being technically correct is the most important and best way of being correct, right? But yeah, most of them are gone. They called it quits. They either disappeared in the night, moved on fully, or maybe just to the next potential scam, leaving behind an endless sea of mostly empty Discord servers and one or two delusional bag holders who think they have a chance of making back even a fraction of the money they invested in this junk. They don't. But you know, like a gaming tech fad is done when the people who were dedicated to making fun of that kind of thing, like John, a prominent crypto video game dunking content creator. He said he's done following crypto games. He makes his bones on making fun of this stuff, and he literally said it's like beating a dead horse. I think it's safe to call crypto gaming a done deal. I'm not saying that there are no projects ongoing. I'm not even saying that they couldn't be successful. And for all I know, they might define success completely differently than I don't really give a shit. But it ain't the future of gaming. I think we all know this at this point, right? We all understand this, right? Right? Something I'm going to ask for your understanding, as well as a small action on your part. Most of you that are watching right now have not subscribed to gameranx, so please do us a huge favor. Click the subscribe button. It's a big solid for us, and we hope it helps you find some stuff you want to see. Thanks a whole lot for clicking subscribe. Let's get back to the video. And number 9 is Amazon's Lord of the Rings MMO. If one thing is more clear than ever after 2025, it's that throwing a bunch of money does not lead to guaranteed success in the gaming industry, or any industry. Amazon learned that the hard way when they shut down the vast majority of their entire internal gaming division. The story of Amazon's gaming business is one of pure hubris. These guys apparently thought they were going to compete with Steam somehow. Like Epic Games, which already had Fortnite, which was already monstrously successful, an incredibly huge force in the gaming industry, cannot compete with Steam. I don't know how Amazon thought they were going to compete with Steam. It seems like it would have been good if they told us, because from the outside, it didn't seem like they were even trying, if I'm honest. Like, did they think they could compete without trying? It was all messy and poorly run and directionless. Outside of their MMO division, which did find some success for a little while with New World, their biggest project yet was going to be this Lord of the Rings MMO made in partnership with Embracer, which had been announced back in 2023. That went quiet for 2 years, and then the game was canceled. This all happened at the same time Amazon released a statement saying they were moving away from MMO development, laid off the staff at Amazon Gaming, and put New World on maintenance mode. The Lord of the Rings MMO situation was always confusing. I don't know why you announce an MMO in 2023. And also, there's already a Lord of the Rings MMO out there that is still being played. I guess this was going to be more ambitious in next gen, but who cares? Because it's dead. I mean, the likelihood it was ever going to happen anyway was pretty slim. Like, even when Amazon had a proper gaming division, they were still canceling projects left and right. And number 8, a slightly better thing that died. I mean, you might have certain perspectives on either of the first two. You might have wanted a Lord of the Rings MMO from Amazon. You may have wanted crypto gaming. I don't know. Those 2 points were definitely disappointments to somebody out there, but the only people who would be disappointed with this one don't matter. I am, of course, talking about Steam banning in-game advertising. In-game advertisements are dead on Steam. Like, I'm not saying that Valve didn't do anything in 2025 that's deserving of scrutiny. They caved to the credit card companies and banned games for no good reason, but they're generally fairly pro-consumer in comparison to pretty much every other online storefront out there, as evidenced by their decision to ban in-game advertising. Specifically, where they literally play ads in the middle of the game, the sort of thing you see all the time with free-to-play mobile games where ads will interrupt the experience. Advertising and commercials are practically unavoidable online. Last thing we need is more of it, especially jammed into exploitative mobile games, but not on mobile games, just to be on PC games. I'm happy that Valve put their foot down. The guidelines that dictate what is and isn't allowed on Steam, they're covered in the Steamworks documentation, and they added a new page that specifically outlines what is not supported, which are pay advertisements, gating gameplay behind ads, or giving players rewards for watching ads in-game. They allow all the usual cross-promotion stuff, product placement in-game stores, that kind of thing, but actual commercials in a game are a strict no-no. There have been rules along these lines that have been in effect for years, but the page that specifically outlines all this stuff was added in 2025. It's not so much a new rule, but they reaffirmed the commitment to keeping ads out of Steam games and also kind of made it bulletproof. And number 7, Concord was killed all over again. Came out back in 2024, lasted for 2 weeks, and was killed by Sony. A mercy killing for sure. But there was a dedicated group of people, small though it was, that actually liked the game and wanted to keep it going. Don't want to rag on these folks too harshly, because in reality, Concord wasn't the worst of the worst. We didn't love it, and as a live service game, it didn't make a lot of sense, both literally and figuratively. But, I mean, I expect it to last longer than 2 weeks. Maybe at least 4. That's a joke. I expect it to last much longer than 2 weeks. But anyway, you take a game away from people that want to play it, especially something this high profile, and eventually a small group of developers are going to manage to get the game running on a custom server, and that's exactly what they did. It was far from complete, but it was a thing, at least for a while. The devs tried to keep the project under Sony's radar, but after a few videos of the game running on custom servers got hit with takedown notices, they bailed on the project. To be clear here, Sony did not try to cease and desist the project into oblivion. They just wanted gameplay footage of the revived version of Concord removed. It's possible they could have allowed the team to keep the game going, but after DMC takedowns, they just saw the writing on the walls and decided to walk instead. So while Sony didn't directly end Concord Delta, they essentially killed the game a second time. Maybe someday someone will come along and make Concord playable again in a few years when the heat is off and Sony doesn't care about the IP anymore, but it's not like it made a bunch of money due to its sterling reputation, high popularity, and, well, you know what happened to Concord. And number 6, Xbox Game Pass DLC subscriber discounts were killed, alongside killing most people's enthusiasm for Xbox Game Pass by jacking up the price by $10 in October. Xbox managed to kill another Game Pass feature that mysteriously they didn't even mention in their blog post announcing the changes coming to Game Pass. Because the supposed point of increasing the Game Pass price is that they are adding value to your subscription. But while promising unbeatable benefits, they quietly removed 15% 20% off of DLCs. What used to be a great deal for people looking to buy battle passes for games for like Call of Duty or whatever, they're now gone, replaced with more worthless reward points. At least the 20% game purchase discount's still available, but any savings you might have gotten on DLC disappeared overnight. It's yet another way that Xbox is making Game Pass Ultimate subscribers pay more to get less. Here's where you should put somebody giving a thumbs up on screen, pause it, and put a twinkle over their teeth. Yeah, Xbox Game Pass. And number 5 was the Hogwarts Legacy DLC plans. Back in March, it was completely baffling why Warner Brothers would cancel DLC for their extremely popular Hogwarts Legacy game. Now in 2026, it's pretty obvious why any additional content and potential definitive editions of the game may have been canned, because Warner Bros. Was looking to sell. They didn't want any outstanding projects up in the air when the sale went through. Making DLC for the game seemed like such a no-brainer, especially early last year when it seemed like WB Games was really struggling to get anything off the ground. Things were looking bad. With all the restructuring, the closure of Monolith, and the cancellation of Wonder Woman, shutting down the Multiverses studio, that game getting pulled. It was bad all around for the games division. During the restructuring, WB stated they were going to focus on a few tentpole games like Hogwarts Legacy. So of course they did the exact opposite of focus on a few tentpole games like Hogwarts Legacy. Oh wait, they did say they were going to focus on live service games and move away from single player stuff, even though Kill the Justice League had just bombed freaking hard. And Hogwarts Legacy, a single player game, was the top selling game of 2023. Say what you will about the actual game, it's not really my cup of tea. It's a bit straightforward. I can't really insult the game. It's just not my thing. But it is a lot of people's things. It's proven itself to be a very profitable game. Making extra content for it would have been a no-brainer. But of course, the geniuses at Warner decided not to do that. And number 4 is PlayStation Stars. If one thing died in 2025, it was loyalty programs. They've either gotten so bad that they might as well be dead, or they're like PlayStation Stars and are just dead. It was poorly advertised and confusing as it was, but for the people who knew how to take advantage of it, it was free money. It wasn't a lot of free money or anything, but it was something that helped justify purchasing games digitally for full retail price. On May 21st, 2025, the PlayStation Stars program was officially closed. In the same breath, Sony promised that they would evaluate new ways to evolve future loyalty program efforts. So they were going to replace it with something just as good or possibly even better, right? Well, this is a video about things that died in 2025, so no, obviously not. Instead of giving loyal PlayStation customers some way to save money on games, they announced this god-awful franchise rewards program that gives us the privilege to buy overpriced, crappy merch if you unlock certain in-game trophies within a given time. So instead of offering ways for people to save money, you got new, weirdly restrictive ways to spend more money on stuff that you didn't want in the first place. And number 3 is Perfect Dark, Everwild, and just a whole lot of Xbox stuff. Just a bloodbath over at Xbox Games. Tons of people lost their jobs. A lot of highly anticipated games got the axe. The most noteworthy were, of course, the Perfect Dark reboot, which should exist, and Everwild, which, I don't know, could have been cool. I don't really know. There's apparently a lot more, though, including a new game from the Elder Scrolls Online developers and that Contraband game that got announced back in 2021. All this stuff is now dead, and while some of it wasn't likely to see the light of day given how Xbox has managed studios for the past few years, it doesn't mean it doesn't suck. What really sucks is the Perfect Dark cancellation, though. Let's be serious. The Nintendo 64 original was fantastic. It was a series with a ton of potential that could still be realized. Microsoft opening up an entire new studio just to work on this one game, The Initiative, seemed like the future was very bright, but they got shut down along with the game. Everwild was always going to be a long shot, but after Sea of Thieves managed to turn itself around, I don't blame anyone for being excited for whatever Rare was working on next. Now all that work is just in the trash. I don't even know what Rare's doing now. The studio seems like a shadow of what they once were. All the high-profile people exited the studio like a leaky ship. Rare is still around, technically. It was never closed like The Initiative, but they seem pretty compromised, let's say. Nobody really knew what Everwild actually was, and from all reports, it sounds like maybe Rare didn't fully know what they were doing with it, but it stings to see something seemingly big and ambitious killed before the studio even had a chance. And number 2 is Skype. Bet you didn't even realize Skype was still a thing in 2025. Back in the late 2000s and early 2010s, it was the way to communicate with your friends and family online. I remember using Skype as a substitute for online game chat for years, especially in games like WoW, where the in-game voice option kind of sucked. A lot of stuff, honestly. WoW is one of the easier to remember ones, but I mean, eventually Discord came along and made Skype very obsolete. I guess Zoom kind of does that as well. Every other service out there evolved, and Skype didn't. It's been the obviously inferior option for years, even after Microsoft purchased it. Because what do they do with stuff that they purchase? We don't even frickin' know at this point. They just buy it and they're like, well, I've got that now. Yeah. Honestly, Skype lasted a lot longer than I expected. Like a lot of you, I assumed it had gone offline years ago, but it wasn't until February 28th did Skype officially go offline, accompanied by an announcement that notified many people that Skype had not gone offline yet. It got replaced by Microsoft Teams, which... low grumbling sounds. Anyway, pour one out for Skype for facilitating all those late night multiplayer gaming sessions. May not have been great, but at least it was there. It was the only option in town when we all actually did use it. It had no real reason to exist in 2025 and hardly anyone used it anymore, but we can still remember it finally for its time. And finally, at number 1, everything Titanfall. Why do you hate Titanfall, EA? The multiplayer was immaculate, and the second game's single-player campaign is arguably the best Call of Duty campaign ever made. It got released at a bad time, and was always more of a cult hit than a proper mainstream success, but the potential was there. With the right support, it easily could have been your Call of Duty competitor, your second one. You could have two highly successful Call of Duty competitors. Imagine how good that would have looked this past year with Call of Duty Black Ops 7's release. As hard as Respawn tries to bring this series back, it seems like it never works out. In 2025 alone, we got news for 2 separate multiplayer FPS games from Respawn that were strangled in the crib, a possible Star Wars FPS that got canceled in early 2024, but we didn't learn about that until 2025. But what stings is the unannounced Titanfall game that was canceled the same time when EA was cutting off staff across the board. Nothing about this new Titanfall game has been reported, so no details as to exactly what it was are out there, but we know, at least according to Bloomberg, that it was worked on at some point, and that's about it. EA, we're begging you, just make a Titanfall game. We all want the Titanfall game. We will buy the Titanfall game. It's not going to be a tough thing to sell. Again, you just got to support the damn series, and it will be a success. Like, Titanfall has the potential to thrash Call of Duty, especially where Call of Duty is right now. I can't completely give up hope. I don't think the Titanfall franchise is completely dead, but hope for a proper revival continues to dwindle after 2025. And what a low note to end on. I know you didn't like the things that we talked about in this video, at least most of them, but if you liked the video, and please try to keep the disappointment of the things like no Titanfall game coming out and the video talking about it, keep them different. But if you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. Become a member of the 1% Club by clicking the join button below and listen to The Falcon Show every Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.